there. I want to welcome everybody to today's broadcast. Today we are having a great one I'm very excited about. So this is part of what we're calling Stream Days. My name is Michael Giannotti. I will be your host for the next 2 days of these sessions. Today I'm joined by Archana Nair, and she's going to be taking over in just a bit. But before we get started, we do have some housekeeping items that we want to go through to make sure everybody's up to date. So very quickly, I have a couple of slides I'm going to run through, and then we'll get started. And let's click the next. There we go. Oh, there we are. So real quickly, today's event, as all of our events, is brought to you by the Microsoft Healthcare and Life Sciences Group. If at any time you have questions about collaboration and want to learn more, please visit us at our blog at aka.ms/HLS blog. That's aka.ms/HLS blog. By the way, you see Jackie in back of me. We have a live studio audience today. We're in the Microsoft Technology Center here in Malvern, PA, and welcome you to come along sometime. So continuing on with our slides, today's video, you can see us live. This is not Memorex, so our video today is being brought to us today by Logitech Meetup. I've got the Meetup cam that's usually in my home office. You can see we're getting a wide angle, whole room shot, and we can zoom on in. So the Logitech Meetup camera, it is a 4K camera, Ultra HD, great for huddle rooms, etc. And it's part of our Logitech, what do we call it? The Logitech TAP system. Yes. But a family of systems that are available for different room configurations. This is the one that I happen to use. If you're interested in learning more, you can certainly check out the Logitech website or contact your local Microsoft or Logitech person. If you contact your local Microsoft rep, we'll get you in touch with them. Moving on. Before we start, a couple of things. Number one, this is big. And Beth from Minneapolis, and I also saw Geisinger is also in the house. They've already kind of anticipated what I was going to say here. So first of all, we encourage all attendees to ask questions today. We want to know what you think. What do you want to know? Fire away. I'll be queuing those up, and then what we'll do is we'll have Archana will periodically pause. We'll fire up the questions to her. She is excited. I see her on the back end. I can see her video down here. She's like, yeah, bring them on. She's ready to go. So ask your questions. All questions are moderated. We're using moderated Q&A. So they don't show to the general audience until we go ahead and publish those. I'm also joined today by Dave, Mr. Dapper Dave Upton, who is in the background. He'll be helping queue those up, and he just smiled. I saw him there, and we're going to be handling all that today. So he's assisting me, so I don't have to have 10 hands on that. We also want to know, as we're seeing people already, and we have a hello from New Delhi, India. Hello to you. We want to know where you're from. So give us a shout out, fire them up. Let us know, where are you coming from? What country? If you're here in the U.S., what state, what city? We'd love to know. We'd love to give you a hello. So let us know where you're watching from today. Then also, very important, we get asked this all the time at the conclusion of this session. Yes, this webcast will be available on demand, so you can share with your colleagues, your friends, your children, I'm sure, are ready to just watch this. But all you have to do is go back to our blog at aka.ms/HLS blog. Again, that's aka.ms/HLS blog. And we'll have that up along with any resources that are mentioned, and you'll be able to do that. And I'll also have a link to a survey because we'd like to know what you think, how we could help you in the future provide better webcasts. So the last piece is this, before we turn it over, how to engage our Q&A panel, because you may want to ask a question. First of all, if it's not showing up on your right-hand side, it should be. If not, you can click the little question mark in a kind of dialog box. That'll give you then this view, which you're probably seeing by default. Once you have that, and I'm looking at a big screen up there. Once you do that, you can go ahead and post your questions. Eric from St. Louis, welcome. We see him as well. But That's it. That's all the housekeeping. So again, fire off your hellos, where you're coming from, fire off your questions. I'll queue those up. But without further ado, today we are joined by Principal Program Manager Archana Nair. And Archana, you want to take on over? I'm going to go ahead and put your video live. And if you want to share your desktop, you can take over.
I'll go ahead and do that. Hi, guys. Super excited to be here and working with Michael on this webinar. So I'm, like Michael said, my name is Archana Nair, and I'm a Principal PM on Microsoft Stream team. And I'm super excited to talk to you today about all about Stream. So let me go ahead and turn my video off, and I'll start sharing my desktop. All right, can you see my desktop okay?
We see it perfect.
All right, great. Awesome. So today we're going to talk about how to engage and inform your organization with intelligent video using Microsoft Stream. So quick run through the agenda. So for those of you who may not be very familiar with Microsoft Stream, I'll give a quick introduction, a high-level introduction to what is Microsoft Stream. And then I'm going to use the bulk of the session to take a scenario-driven approach around how to use video in organizations. So I've picked the top 4 scenarios that customers typically use videos for within their organizations. And then we'll talk about how Stream can actually help you accomplish those scenarios. So we'll talk about training, which is one of the very common scenarios for video usage. Next, we'll talk about how to reach a broad audience with intentional messages such as CEO town halls, product announcements, etc. Then we'll dive into how to kind of seamlessly bring a video into your organizations, places where they actually work, as opposed to them having to leave to go to a different experience just to consume video. And finally, we know for all organizations, being able to manage video in a secure and flexible way is also very important. So we'll talk a little bit about how admin scenarios work for Stream. And then we'll go into a little bit of roadmap of what's coming up for Stream, and then some time reserved for Q&A as well towards the end. All right, so jumping right in. So what is Microsoft Stream? So Microsoft Stream is an intelligent video service for organizations to create, share, and manage both on-demand as well as live videos in a secure way and in a single place. So Stream ships as a part of Office 365 suite, and because of that, there are integrations across Yammer, Teams, SharePoint, and which means that you can very seamlessly bring video into these apps where actually your users are. And in addition to that, we have a lot of intelligence capabilities, AI, built into Stream, which allows you to unlock the potential of video content. So for example, we have speech to text, which allows you to do deep search on video. We do speech, speaker and face detection, which allows you to see where people appear in different timelines of the video. And then finally, like I said, for any SaaS service to be enterprise grade, we need to have security and compliance, which Stream supports. Well, I'm going to switch over to a quick demo here for what Stream is. So here I am in my Stream portal, and like I said, Stream ships as a part of Office 365. You can access it very easily by going to the waffle here on the left, and you can scroll down and find Stream right here, which will land you in the Stream portal. Once you're in the Stream portal, hang on a second, there. So once you're in the Stream portal, what you see on the top here is a list of trending videos inside your organization. So these are usually videos that are being viewed a lot, shared a lot. Basically, there's activity on these videos. And in addition to that, there's also spotlight videos. And this allows your Stream admin or your global tenant admins to specifically pin certain videos to this location if you want to bring specific attention to these videos for all the people in your organization. Going down below here, there's some help content. There's a watch list, which is most of you are probably very familiar with. There's also a concept of groups and channels, which I'll go over in just a bit, but It also kind of gives you what are the trending videos in your organization, popular channels, etc. Just to talk a little bit about how video is organized inside of Stream, there's the concept of groups. So you can go into Discover Groups. Stream groups are nothing but Office 365 groups. So these are the same Office 365 groups that you have a SharePoint site for. You can have a Yammer group, an Exchange mailbox, etc., or a Teams team. You also can have a Stream group. Stream group is where permissions are managed. So if you go inside a Stream group, you get a mini portal kind of experience. So you can have a Stream group, for example, for an HR department or a marketing department. And it helps because you manage all the permissions at a group level. So if you go into the membership tab, here you can see all the various people that are owners and who are members, and this is where you can manage your permission. And because this is like a mini portal, it also gives you a quick overview of what are the trending videos just within this group, right? So not like for your entire organization, but just within the group itself. And inside of a group, there's a concept of channels. And what channels are typically used for are more for organization of data within the bigger group. So for example, I'm in the marketing group right now. There's different channels for training, product tours, product launch videos, etc. So that's a quick high level of what groups and channels are. Now let me quickly show you some of the AI capabilities we talked about. So let's say I'm in my Stream portal and I search for the term camera. Now here, what you'll see in a second is that what Stream's doing here is not just searching for this particular keyword in title and description, but also inside of the deep search of the transcripts of the video. So as you see here, it says Contoso Town Hall. So there's no camera mentioned in title or description, but this result still came up because the camera word is mentioned inside of the video at different time codes. And then if I click on one of these time codes, what will happen is the video will start playing back from that specific point of time. So this actually allows users to get to the most relevant content very quickly, right? So you don't have to scrub through the video to figure out where was that particular word mentioned or somebody talked about this topic. So it's the super easy way to just deep search and then start the video from exactly where you want it to be. I'm gonna mute this just a second. All right. And then you saw that the transcript here on the right side also caught up to the video itself. So you can start consuming the transcript in context of what the video is talking about. The other AI feature I talked about was people detection. So here I'm going to switch over to the people tab. And what you see here is a list of all the faces that appear inside of the video and where in the timeline they appear. So this is especially great for videos such as, oh, I attended this keynote of my CEO, and there was this one particular video that was presented by this person that was super important, and I just want to jump to that part of the video, right? So you can very easily do that here. So for example, if I want to switch to where this person appears in the video, you can just click there, the video jumps to that point, and then you can see exactly, the part of the video that you want to consume. There you go. All right, so that is a quick high-level overview of what Stream is. I'm going to jump back here to our first scenario. All right, so like we talked about, training is one of the most common scenarios that organizations use videos for. When people inside an organization can understand, say, their process that is unique to their roles, or they want to learn new things that can help them make them do their jobs better, they can contribute better to their organization and also be more accountable. And then we've also known that in general, when delivery of courses and or training material is done in the form of video, as opposed to say just reading a doc, it helps at both comprehension of the content and as well as helps retain the knowledge better. And it also helps capture a lot of institutional knowledge, which is especially important for, say, easy onboarding for new employees. So video is in general a great tool for that. So as a part of this, one of the announcements that we did is last week in the SharePoint conference was Stream now supports being able to add quizzes and polls and surveys to videos. So what this means is that you can, if you are an owner of a video, you can easily bring Microsoft Forms, easy assessment, training material, etc. So I'm going to jump into a quick demo for this. So let's start with a scenario here where I have a PowerPoint. So the scenario here is, say, if we are taking training as an example, let's say you're rolling out Office 365 to your organization. And as a part of that, you want to train your IT department on all the various apps that ship as a part of Office 365. So here there is a quick PowerPoint that introduces you to Stream. And one of the things that I wanted to call out here is PowerPoint itself is a great content creation tool, right? If you switch to the recording tab here of PowerPoint, and just as an FYI, if you don't see the recording tab, you can customize the ribbon, right? Click and go to customize ribbon and make sure that as soon as it comes up, make sure that the recording tab is actually selected. This one, okay? And so when you switch to the recording tab, what this allows you to do is record your PowerPoint presentation as a video. And when the video is done, you can click publish to stream in order to publish that content to stream. So let's give this a quick try. So I'm going to say record slideshow. And you can see my video here, and I can click record. And let's say I do like a quick introduction here. I say, welcome to Microsoft Stream's introduction, and Microsoft Stream here is a video solution for businesses of all sizes. And with Microsoft Stream, it's a single destination for all your enterprise videos. You can add intelligence to every video, and you can securely share your video across your organization. Now that's done, I can stop recording, go back to my PowerPoint presentation. As you see, the PowerPoint has my embedded video in each of the slides here. And now I can go ahead and say publish to stream. And what this does is I can now provide a name and description and choose if I want everybody in my organization to see this video. If not, it'll default just to me, and then I can go into Stream and edit my permissions. So let's go ahead and say publish here. And if you see down below here, it's actually creating an MP4 file. It should just take a few seconds because I made sure this was a short video so I can show you a live demo. So as soon as this video creation is done, it's going to go ahead and publish this to Stream. So if it takes a little bit longer, I think I have a backup video that I've already recorded, so I can at least show you how this will look like inside of Stream. So this was a video I made a few days ago. So I did the exact same thing where I recorded from a PowerPoint and I added the video to Stream. And I just wanted to call out that all the animations and all the annotations that you have inside of the PowerPoint, right, as a part of the presentation, will stay as a part of the video. All right, great. So the next thing is, let me actually, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and delete this form because this is what I wanted to show you the demo of. All right, so once you have the video here, a training video, I think for the most part, when you get the most of value out of video is if you can assess how well your training video was consumed by people, right? And also, this is a great place to say, get a survey from your employees to say, what else would you like to, say, learn about? So whether it is surveys or quizzes or polls, now Stream allows you to do that. So in order to do that, what we've added here is an interactivity tab. This interactivity tab allows you to add forms and quizzes and polls using Microsoft Forms. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and click Add New. And what comes up here is I need to add a form URL. I can provide a name for the form and a position on the timeline. So I have a pre-created form here, which is basically a feedback form. So after the training, what I would like to learn is, so this is all you saw about Microsoft Stream. What else would you like to learn about Microsoft Stream? So I can copy the URL from either here, or you can go to share and copy the URL from here too. And go back to Stream. I paste the URL here. I can name a form to say feedback. And I can change the position of the timeline of where I want this to be. So let's say I want it to be closer to the end of the video. When the video is complete, that's when I want to get feedback from the users. And I say add to timeline. And that's it. So now the form is added. As you see, a marker appears on my timeline here to indicate that the form, there's actually an interesting content there. And now let me show you when I start playing back the video again, the form appears in line of the video. So as the user is watching the video, when you share this video with your organization, everybody sees this experience. So then the user is able to select a specific question or specific answer, sorry, and they submit their answers here. And once that's done, you can click continue to video. And that's it. And then the viewed icon appears here, letting the users know that that particular form has already been taken once. So that is kind of a high level of what creation of training content and adding forms for like assessments or feedback looks like within Stream. All right, switching back here. The next scenario here that I have is how to reach a broad audience with intentional messages. So while there are definitely, like we said, there are various ways of where videos are used in organizations, leadership communication, which is things such as CEO town halls, for example, are the most impactful ones, because this is where it allows leaders of the company to deliver more intentional messages, have more authentic communication between leaders and their employees. And it also helps align everyone around the common goal of what the strategy of your company is and how you want to execute on it, what are the bigger goals for your company, etc. And it also builds a very strong engagement as a result across your organization. And so for that, Stream has live events. So the live events in Stream basically is an integrated solution which is available across Microsoft Teams, Yammer, and Stream. The end-to-end CEO connection scenario starts from Teams, which starts with scheduling an event, and ends in Microsoft Stream, which allows you to connect to a specific encoder and decide how you want to actually send the stream across to your broad audience. And once the live event is done, it's immediately available as on-demand event also. So I'm going to quickly again switch back into a demo here. I hope this works because I set up the live event sometime back, and I'm going to just refresh this to make sure that my computer is not overloaded today with a lot of things going on simultaneously.
And then Archana?
Yes.
Later, when you get a chance after the demo, we have a lot of questions if you want to take them after.
Sure, whatever works. Do you want me to take them now if it's more relevant to what I just talked about?
No, we can wait till after the demo.
Okay, great. Let's do that.
All right.
All right. So here, let's go back here. So, all right. So when we talk about live events, there is a producer experience and then there's an audience experience. As a producer, you're the one that is going to schedule the event, set up the event for the specific time, connect to an encoder, and get it all set up and going. Once it's done, you'll share the link with your audience, and the audience are the ones that are viewing the event. So as a producer, let me first talk about what the producer experience inside of Stream looks like, and then we'll switch over and see what the audience experience looks like. So here again, you're back in the Stream portal. In order to set up a live event, you can go to Create and click on Live Event. And this brings you to an experience where you can provide a specific name for an event, a description, and you can also upload a thumbnail. So for example, if I want to upload a thumbnail here, sorry, for some reason I can hear the fan on my computer spinning and everything is so slow. Give me 1 second, there you go. So you can open any image that you have, which to basically show as a slate to your audience. So this is the view that the audience will see. So if I say this is town hall, May, and you can pick a specific date and time. So if we pick, say today's date and save this event. So this is what your audience will see until the event goes live, right? The next tab here is where you can set permissions. So you can either say everybody in your company can have permission to this video, or you can specifically choose office groups, specific channels, or just individual people that you want to give permission to watch this video. There are also certain options you can select in here, such as if you want the people detection on, do you want people to have comments? Also, if you want the auto generation of the caption file after the event is done. So this is where you choose all of those. Now coming down here, this is the core of how you would set up the live event. So Encoder, if you're not familiar, just a quick overview. Think of Encoder as a tool that brings inputs from various sources, such as audio, video, desktop sharing, maybe a PowerPoint presentation stream, etc., images, and it combines them all into a single stream to send to the stream's RTMP ingest endpoint. And what this means is once you have an encoder set up and you send that stream to our ingest endpoint, stream then broadcasts that to all the audience based on your permission level. So in here, what we've done is in the dropdown, we have an integration already, an existing integration with a bunch of encoders, such as Haivision, Switcher Studio, Wirecast, etc. With these ones, because of the integration, we've made it easy for you to get started in terms of pre-populating all the encoder settings, automatically setting up the ingest URL, etc. For this demo purposes, I'm going to try and show you how to configure manually, because there's a little bit of extra step, and hopefully it'll be useful to understand how to set this up. There are also steps here that's going to make it easy for you to figure out how to set up the live event. So for a live event, the first step you do is start setup. And clicking start setup, what this actually does is it sets up the channel and gets that going before the live event starts. So typically for your live event, you probably want to start setup about 30 to 40 minutes before your actual event starts. So it takes a few seconds, and as soon as you see the ready to connect message over here, this means that you can copy this ingest URL into your encoder. Okay, so I'm here, I'm using an OBS encoder. It's an open source encoder, it's free. And for demo purposes, what I'm doing here is I just have a video loop set up. So it's basically just taking a video from my machine and just playing it back in a loop. However, you can imagine that there are various video sources you can add here. So audio, browser, display capture, images, etc. So as a producer, you can choose to have different sources set up here and decide what exactly your audience want to see. And once that's done, you can go into settings. And most of the encoders have a similar setup where inside of the settings is where you would put in your ingest URL. And inside of stream here, so this is the ingest URL that I've already pasted. Okay, so I don't have to change that. I've already gone ahead and done that. So now that this is streaming, I'm going to switch over to this other tab where I have this already set up. There's a little bit of a lag I see here, but basically once you start streaming from your encoder, you'll start seeing this live inside of stream, and you'll also see the same experience inside of Yammer as well. Guess everything needs a little bit of refreshing here. So the idea here is that once you have the encoder set up and connected to the stream's live event, the same live event can be viewed inside of Yammer and inside of Teams, and of course. So the idea here is your audience don't have to leave their existing experience to go somewhere else to consume this live event, but they can do it from exactly where they are currently. All right. I think this is taking a bit long, so I'm gonna move on from here, but there you go. But yeah, so there you go. So it should hopefully start playing back in just a second. All right, so now switching back here. So that was a quick overview of live events inside of Microsoft Stream. The next scenario here is meeting your audience where they work. So, we referred to this a couple of times before too, that it is important to seamlessly integrate video into users' apps based on where they are right now, as opposed to having them leave the experience. So a lot of times we hear from our existing customers that they end up creating a lot of videos, create video content, whether it's training content, whether it is, inside of schools, there is instructional videos, etc. They have a lot of content, but a lot of users don't end up discovering that content. And obviously that means that no one ever watches them. So while video portals are important for organizing videos, managing them, having permissions on them, etc., it's really important that you can seamlessly bring videos into where the users are and in context of what they're doing. In general, that lowers the barrier of not just discovery of the content, but also lowers friction for consuming the content too. And like I mentioned earlier, because Stream is a part of Office 365, we have a really great integration across Office 365 apps. So, one other announcement here, that as of, again, last week's SharePoint conference, we announced record and upload functionality inside of Microsoft Stream's mobile app. So Microsoft Stream mobile app has been available for a few months now for both iOS and Android. And the functionality we had until now was to be able to consume content, view all your videos, and to be able to download videos for offline consumption. And the newest functionality that we're announcing is that right now you can already upload videos directly from your camera roll, and soon within the next month or so, we'll also have the ability to record videos and upload them directly to Microsoft Stream as well. So hopefully I'll get to show you a demo of that too in a bit. So let's switch over here.
Were you ready for any questions yet?
I'm sure I can take some questions now.
All right. So I'm going to start with, let's see, whoops. We had a whole bunch here. So starting from the very beginning, we had a question actually before we even started, and they wanted to know if they're able to stream video content from Microsoft Stream to external organizations, outside of their organization. So like on a public website.
Yeah, so that's definitely on a roadmap, and you'll see that when I show my final roadmap slide. We don't have that capability yet, but it's definitely coming soon. I don't have a specific timeline, but I would, I'd hope it's in the coming fiscal year.
All right. We also had questions. Let's see. This one, we saw a couple of people asking similar ones, but how, when will a sorting option or playlist be available? They said we have a lot of training videos. It'd be nice to have one place, a playlist to watch the videos in a certain order. I think it's where they can specify that order. And also, how do you sort by name?
Yes. Again, both of those, I think, great questions. We get asked that a lot from a lot of our customers. I would say we're working on sorting by name first. So I think that is a easier solution that we will be able to ship out first. So hopefully in the coming months. followed by playlists, which should be a little bit later than that.
We also had a question around transcripts, and they said transcripts are great. More important is full access. Is there an export feature to a table format where there's a column for time code and a column for text, and where is that?
Interesting. So what you can do right now is, as an owner, you can download the transcript, but the transcript is downloaded in the VTT format. So unfortunately, it's not in time code and text in like a table format, but it is, as a owner, you will be able to download your transcript. And soon we are also going to allow for owners to give permissions to other people to download the video and transcript as well. So that should be coming soon too. But unfortunately, we don't have any plan to have transcript in a table kind of format. I'd love to understand the specific scenario, if possible, if they can provide more context around why they need it in a table format. I'd love to understand more.
Okay, so we'll maybe come back to that. Then there was, I'll give you a couple more. One was just a comment, and they said, you know, when you showed the people and facial recognition, I think the idea was, this comes from Tom, that it would be nice if we could tag named users or people instead of just having the faces. So actually, I guess going into the metadata and being able to tag that.
Yes, absolutely. We do have that in the plan. So what we have right now is just face detection. Soon we're going to have face recognition, and then we may have multiple levels of that. The very first kind of version of that will probably be just, like you mentioned, manual tagging. But then we'll probably also have like AI models that learn over time and automatically suggest people's names also based on the faces or matching with their AAD profile pictures. So yes, absolutely, we do want to do that. We're going to continue to have a lot of investment in the AI areas going forward.
And two last questions, and then we'll save the rest for later.
Sure.
And this one was on the quizzes. So we had some interest around that, and people asking if that would transfer, I guess, be able to be viewed and interacted with off of the mobile phone view. So they said they tried it the other day but couldn't see them.
Yes. So the mobile phone support doesn't exist yet. So today, if you have an interactive video, the mobile phone should kind of prompt you to say, hey, there's some interactive content in here, so please watch this video in the browser. But having said that, the mobile phone support should be coming in the next couple of months. So the work is already scheduled and underway.
And I guess the last one that we'll do for right now, is it possible to change the layout or size of the video and slides?
Video and slide. Oh, inside of PowerPoint?
I'm guessing it's that, or it might be for, you also were showing the live portion.
Okay, so yes, for both. So if you do PowerPoint, yes, absolutely. The video, the in-slide video that you were seeing that was on the right side bottom corner of the slide, you can make it bigger, you can move it around. It's just a video control inside of PowerPoint. So absolutely, you can change location. And same with the encoder too. You can have different layouts for encoders. I believe, Mike, tomorrow, Christina is going to do a deep dive into live. So I can follow up with her to make sure if they're interested in kind of understanding more about the encoder setup, maybe she can dive more into that as well. Awesome.
So we'll hold the rest for now, but thank you and continue on.
All right, cool. Okay. So we talked about how it's important to get video integrated into where the users are. So let's look at some demos in there. All right, so let me actually switch over here first. So here I am inside of Microsoft Teams, and this is actually one of my favorite features is meeting recording. So whenever you have a a meeting inside of Teams, such as the one we're having today. You record a meeting, and that recording automatically gets uploaded to Stream as a video. And as a part of that, it also appears inside of like the specific channel that you scheduled the meeting from. So here, just as an example, I have a meeting with Christina, who's going to be presenting tomorrow for the live event session. And she and I had a meeting, and we recorded that meeting. And what you can see here is that that meeting is now available on Stream. And the thing that it actually allows you to do is the deep transcript search that is available inside of Stream videos is also available inside of embeds. So we had this meeting, and now, for example, say, a couple of weeks down the line, I'm like, oh yeah, I had this meeting with Christina, and there was a specific follow-up I had in that meeting, and now I can't recall what it is. You can very easily go into search and say, if I search for action item, it's what it's doing right now is it's actually doing a deep search inside of the transcript of this particular video and looked for the term action item. So I remember having said, I'll take that as an action item. And so now I know exactly what my follow-up was. So this kind of functionality really helps enhance the meeting experience and makes it more efficient in terms of taking you away from always having to take down notes manually, that everything is available here for you automatically. And even in this space, I probably will get asked some of these questions given the trend of these questions. We are planning to make more investments in this area as well, such as being able to automatically detect action items. Right, like right now I said the term action item, but what if I hadn't? So being able to use speech analysis to understand what were the action items that came out of this meeting, who were the speakers, so being able to detect speaker changes. So a lot of interesting work is going to happen in the meeting recording space as well. And I think there's a huge potential for that. So that is one integration point. The other one I wanted to show you was being able to add Stream as a tab inside of Teams. So I'm here inside of another channel inside of Teams, and Stream is actually available as a tab. So if you go click on plus here and choose Stream, you can either add a specific video as soon as this comes up, or here you can have a URL to a specific video, or you can add an entire channel. And adding a specific video would look like this. So it's completely embedded inside of the Teams experience. And the same experiences I told you about in terms of being able to do a deep search, etc. Everything appears inside of this embed as well. Or you can also embed an entire channel. So here I've embedded a channel for product overviews. So what this allows you to do is anytime you add a new video to the channel, the video will automatically appear here. So when your users are within this particular group or channel, they don't have to ever leave this experience and go to Stream portal, for example, to consume this content, but they can play back all of this just inside of Teams directly. So we have a great integration with Teams there. We also have a really good integration with SharePoint. So we shipped, so Stream ships as SharePoint web parts, and similar to Teams here, you can either bring in a specific video or you can embed an entire channel. So just to show you what this looks like, I'm going to go ahead and just edit this existing page to show you how I brought this particular channel in here. And so this is the Stream web part that you see on the right side here. You have the option of bringing all of Stream videos in here. You can have a single video, or you can have a specific channel. All you do is paste in the URL to that particular video or channel, and then you can decide the trending sort order. And given that a lot of companies use SharePoint as their primary corporate kind of communication hub, it's basically their portal where users first land on. This is a great way to, again, bring your users' attention to the videos that you want them to consume, and again, in context of where they are. Okay. So that was integration, and then just as to go back, I already showed you how the integration with Yammer as well as Teams for live videos looks like. So now I'm going to switch over to my phone to show you. Hopefully this will work. I had a hard time yesterday kind of getting my phone to show up as screen mirroring on my PC. So let's see if this works. All right, give me a second. I'm going to bring this up here. Okay. This does not seem to be working. Apologize for that. I was going to show you the new experience that we have for capture and upload, but well, I guess that means that you probably have to now go download the app. And Michael, I don't know if we're going to share the deck with the audience, or post this somewhere later, but there are codes here for everyone to go download and give it a try. It's a fairly simple experience where you can quickly upload a video from your camera roll, so it should be fairly easy to go ahead and do that. Great. I guess now kind of landing on our last experience scenario that we talked about is admin. So as an admin for any enterprise or education industry, it is important to have enterprise grade level security and compliance. And that means that as an admin, you need to be able to centrally administer and manage all the content within your organization with the confidence that everything is secure and it's permissioned correctly. And the Stream Admin Center, which I'll show you in just a second, will allow IT admins to have full control over all these things, while at the same time being able to give the businesses the tools that they need in order to be productive and have the flexibility that they need. So in here, let me switch over to the admin experience. So here I am. You can easily get to the admin experience for Stream by going to the gear icon here and going to admin settings. All the global tenant admins are automatically Stream admins. And as a part of this admin setting over here, you can manage who are the other admins that you want to give Stream admin permissions to. So that is the very first setting over here. The spotlight videos, like I showed you earlier, allows admins to specifically pin a certain set of videos to that top bar to kind of gain users' attention. So there are 4 spots totally available, and you can, as an admin, you can choose to spotlight a set of videos. In terms of live events that I showed you, by default, everybody in the company is allowed to create live events, but as an admin, you can turn this off. By default, make sure that not everybody has it, and then you can give specific people permission in order to do the live events, such as like this. Company policies. A lot of companies will have specific policies that they want users to read before they can start using a particular product. So you can have like a URL to your particular company policy here. And if when it is enabled, anytime they will require the users to accept the policy before they start actually uploading the video to Stream. Usage details, again, is a very interesting scenario here, where as an IT admin, you're able to understand how much of the current storage is being used and what is available, so you know when to upgrade, etc. You can make certain sort of business decisions. I wanted to bring your attention to Recycle Bin. This is a new feature that we've implemented inside of Stream. which actually shipped just a couple of weeks ago. Previously, when you deleted a video would be permanently deleted from Stream, and you'd have to contact Microsoft in order to restore certain videos. Now Stream has implemented Recycle Bin, which means any video that's deleted will stay here for 30 days. And as an admin, you're able to restore any video based on the request of your users. I'm going to now skip over here specifically to some of the privacy related issues. So comments, by default, again, all users within your organization are allowed to comment on videos. You can restrict that again and not allow comments at all for videos. There's also a video level setting here where per video level, you can say whether you want comments enabled or disabled. People detection and timeline setting. This is a new feature again that we added support for based on a lot of user requests. So while a lot of users and customers love the fact that people detection and then we want to take it to face recognition later, while they love that functionality, some companies are also concerned about privacy. So using this functionality, if you're concerned about faces being detected in videos, you can turn this off. And what that means is we will go ahead and delete all the existing faces that have been detected in videos permanently, and we will not do any kind of new face detection for videos that are uploaded from then onwards. We just wanted to add like one bit of caution here because it takes a lot of time and cogs in order to go ahead and delete the faces. So once it's deleted, if you want to add it back again, there's going to be a delay of several hours. So just something for admins to keep in mind before they decide to do that. Content creation again, this is if you want to restrict your upload permissions to only a certain set of people, you could do that using this setting. There is a concept of company-wide channels. So channels for the most part are within a group, but you can also have a company-wide channel that is not associated with an Office 365 group. And you can disable if you want all users to create that or not, or only restrict to a certain set of people. Default video permission is again a new admin setting where by default today, if you upload a video to Stream, the default setting is that everybody in your organization will have access to those videos. Using this particular setting here, you can change that default to only specific groups and people or everybody in the company. So you can choose what setting you want. And then finally, just a quick update on eCDN providers. So a lot of companies use eCDN providers to optimize and maintain their network bandwidth consumption to a certain limit. So if you're using an eCDN, we already have integration with 3 eCDN providers, Hive, Collective, and Ramp. And we've made it very easy for you to go ahead and set up the eCDN provider of your choice using the setting over here. And then the last thing in admin that I wanted to talk about is GDPR compliance. So Stream is fully GDPR compliant. So as a part of these settings here, you can request to get specific users' data from here as an admin. And then if a specific user gets deleted from your organization, you can choose to delete all the associated references of them from searching deleted users here and making sure that they basically are removed, their entire context is removed from within Stream. So that is all of admin in a nutshell. Going back here, continuing along, we're in the roadmap section, and I think we're doing good on time. So here is our roadmap. So like I talked about, what we have available already is we have SharePoint web parts. We did some performance improvements there. The mobile video upload and share, like I talked about. We saw interactive videos with polls and quizzes. We also have Office 365 admin-led migration to Stream available now. So as an admin, if your organization was using Office 365 video, you can now start to initiate that migration to Stream. And then, of course, we're going to continue to add new data centers. We also have Stream deployed in GCC as of last month. What's going to be available soon are the things that we are currently working on, and in the coming months, you should see this being released is the video record functionality inside of the mobile app. We'll also have channels and group support inside of mobile. You'll be able to embed stream videos inside of PowerPoint, and that should be coming out fairly soon. As a part of information protection, support, e-discovery, retention, data retention, legal hold, all of that is in the works as well. Like I mentioned, video creation, editing, and playlists. So as a part of a video editor, that we're going to have support for a web version where directly you'll be able to, in the web, edit an existing stream video. The highest priority for that scenario is to make sure that you can trim live content. So usually when the way live works is producers start streaming a live content, way before the event starts, and then the event ends, and then the video still continues. So when the video gets live event ends and the video gets converted to on-demand video, users have to watch a lot of dead content before getting to the real content. So that's one of the main driving motivation to have web video editing. So we're going to have that soon. We also are working on integrating Stream inside of Microsoft 365 Search, which means whether you go to SharePoint or Office.com or Bing at work and you search for something, you will be able to find Stream content directly from there, which is awesome. We're also working on analytics for Stream in terms of who watched your video, how much of the video did they watch, etc. And external video sharing, which is also a question that was asked. That's also something that we're working on. Available later, these are the things we're going to pick up soon. Our REST APIs, we get asked this a lot. We have started work on this, but we don't have a specific ETA yet, but we will have public APIs for Stream coming up very soon. Video summarization and chapter creation. This is some of the AI investments I was talking to you about, which is when you have a video and it gets uploaded, being able to automatically summarize the video, being able to think of it as a trailer or a quick highlight of the video that the users can consume to understand what's in the video before deciding to invest a lot of time watching the entire video. And chaptering is being able to predict what are the different sections that you want to have for video so that users can get to the most relevant content very quickly. We're also doing more investment in live streaming, being able to do a quick start to go live. And then we're also going to have workflow integration as well as viewer reactions as a part of live as well. So that is our roadmap, and that brings me to the end of my presentation, and happy to take more questions now.
All righty, so we have a number of them that have come out, and the first one is around machine learning, and it says, how does the AI learn in transcripting? And they said there'll always be a language bias in presentations. How do we get that? And they pronounced it or wrote it like in growing up in New England, Harvard. I can pronounce it. How do we get the Harvard professor to be translated properly as Harvard? Can we teach it for names like the CEO and senior leadership teams? And how can we help train even if it is a global AI?
Yeah, no, very good question. And that is improving transcript accuracy is one of the biggest investments it's currently in progress, actually. And that means I should definitely go and update my roadmap slide to call out a lot of other things that are currently in progress. So we're basically using cognitive services in the backend in order to automatically do speech to text and generate the transcript. And I know that team is continuously iterating on their ML model in order to train for different accents, different speed of speaking, male voice, female voice. So they have a whole bunch of training data that they're continuously using in order to retrain the ML model in order to make it more, to increase our accuracy. We're going to very soon release the next version. So you should already see an improvement in terms of the speech to text accuracy. And in addition to that, we're also going to be adding more language support. So today, automatic speech to text only is available for English and Spanish. We're going to be adding at least, I think, 6 or 8 more languages in the coming months. And we're going to continue to expand on that as we go further as well.
Awesome. So the next one we had, do we have practical use cases of Stream and Teams integration for healthcare industry? And but yep. If you want to think about yours real quickly, I just want to mention a couple that I know of. So, I know of one instance where we have an executive who has a regular now monthly Q&A with users in their organization. And this is in a healthcare space. So they kind of talk about some of the state of things, and then they take questions live, just as we're doing here, and then answer them off the cuff and have a, half hour to hour long session. But I also have one that I thought was very interesting, working with another healthcare org, where one of the physicians who also does research has a group that he's working with of external customers. And when I say customers, these are patients who are part of a diabetes program. And he has regular sessions with them in addition to on-demand content and pulling things in, but the ability to then be able to, he's using Teams to facilitate meetings and stuff with them, and then being able to actually do stuff like we're doing today, where they can post stuff out and then have Q&A with those said applicants. Those people they do have as a part of their directory because they're a part of clinical trials that they're doing. But I thought that was pretty interesting, something that somebody's doing around that end. It was something new. I don't know if you have any others that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, I actually was trying to recall if I had a slide for it, but probably not. But we have a use case with Baycare where they were actually using Stream for training content. So in order to train new employees, new onboarding, there was a lot of on how to use specific tools or processes and procedures. They used a lot of video content in sort of Stream to do that. So I think a lot of the scenarios we talked about today, I don't think are specific to a specific industry type. I think a lot of this goes across industry types, whether it is like Michael, you mentioned, town hall meetings or CEO announcements, training, or bringing video into inside of Teams, etc. I think a lot of this should be applicable to most industries.
Yeah, and we definitely, I deal with all healthcare and pharma, both. And so, a lot of the needs that we're seeing are pretty much, they're pretty the same across the board. The next one we had, and I'm trying to understand this, it says Stream embedded in PowerPoint. Viewable, yes. Is it viewable when it's shared in a Teams meeting via a PC client? So I guess if you embed the stream in like you can in PowerPoint, yes. It's just video at that point playing, right? So it should play yes. on whatever is showing the PowerPoint.
Yes, I'm assuming they're talking about this is not using just desktop sharing and showing your PowerPoint like I'm doing right now, but actually sharing your PowerPoint as a separate stream. And not Stream as in Microsoft Stream, but a separate source inside of Teams. And I think, yes, it should work because at the end of the day, all we're doing there is it's an iframe on top of a PowerPoint slide, which basically points to Stream embed, and it can play inline. So yeah, that should work.
So the next one I thought was pretty interesting. I'll let you tackle it first, but I've actually worked on this with customers today, some healthcare ones, and we see this. It says, for training and compliance, can registration be tracked? And somebody just clicked like on it, which is a question that's coming up in a bit. Can registration be tracked to Active Directory and validate when a user started and ended watching the content? This would be a use case that is required and is done through LMS right now.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I think as a part of the analytics work, one of the things we're definitely doing is being able to track viewership. So kind of going back to the slide right here, the viewership analytics is something that should cover that, where you'll be able to see who watched this video, and if it's a required video, to make sure that everybody that you should have watched it have actually watched it. But I think this is probably going one step beyond that, where they're asking that they need to know exactly when they watched it, is it?
Yeah, it's asking, when they started and then when they ended. So how long of the video did they consume the whole video? Did they watch the first 30 minutes or 10 minutes?
Yes.
To make sure they did the whole thing.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think it may not come up in our very first release, but we do have plans for two things here that should satisfy this requirement. One is being able to disable forward in a video, where today you can skip over and like kind of scrub forward. We'll have a setting where we can disable that very easily. So that will force users to watch the entire video. And then the second aspect to that is kind of being able to like drill down and see which parts of the video did the user spend a lot of time on, because there's a lot of good information from there as well, right? So if users rewatch the video between 1 minute and 3 minutes over and over again, there's clearly either it was interesting content or the users didn't understand what was going on, so they had to watch it again. So from both of those are definitely in the works, but I don't think we will have support for that in the very first release of viewership analytics. But as we build on it, these two are definitely scenarios that we have on our plate.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of throw this out there, what I've seen, and I've talked with a number of customers, typically if they're talking about those compliance situations, they do have an LMS in-house for formal compliance training. Mm-hmm. And you can certainly plug the stream videos. Stream can become the video repository that plugs into an LMS portion where you're going to track them through the LMS system and validate, the mastery of the learning that's there. And so that, in that case, then you can satisfy that the requirements really around showing that they've attended the course, that they've acquired the mastery required, and that's really the key piece. And that can be still done as you do today.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of education customers do ask us for that. So the education team is looking into having stream integration with LMS using LTI or XAPI, etc. So it's definitely on the roadmap. Unfortunately, I don't know when we will have that, but I agree that I think having that is like the ultimate, where it gives you this end-to-end of being able to track analytics and on top of the viewer analytics that Stream can give.
So the next two are similar. One was, how do I know when the interactivity feature will be turned on in certain regions? In my tenant, I do not have that function. Yeah. And then the other was, when will we be able to respond to comments and like them?
Okay, so interactivity, yes, it started rolling out last week, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we typically have a 2-week rollout schedule. So I think by end of this week, most regions should have it. So please feel free to reach out to me if you still don't have it by end of the week, but I'm pretty confident by end of the week, all regions will have interactivity. In terms of comments, so Stream has comments today, but unfortunately, you can't do much with the comments in terms of, like being able to reply to them or like them, or being able to contextually add comments. So we do want to invest more in that area, but it's not in our immediate roadmap like you see in here. We just think that based on all the other things customers have been asking us, the things listed in here are higher in priority. So that's why we prioritize them that way. But if you're doing a live event, we have Yammer integration. So live videos you can use Yammer as the chat backend, which gives you all of that, which gives you replying to comments and liking and all the additional rich experience with comments. So for live, I think you should be able to use that. For on-demand videos, yes, unfortunately, we don't have that as a major investment area. But again, I have a link in here for adding and voting for existing ideas. So please go ahead and add that, because most of our backlog that I have here is we prioritize it based on what our users have been asking. So something else goes higher in the list, we can always change this list to bring something else in.
And I guess that applies going back to the questions that we had around the columns and being able to do editing. That's certainly something they could submit, right? And
absolutely. Like we have planning meetings literally every week where we go back and reprioritize our backlog, and the bigger planning meetings every couple of months. So yes, absolutely. We are ready. We are willing to change our priorities based on our customer asks.
So we have another one where they're asking, will an HTML editor come soon for the description box? That's interesting. Formatting, bullet points, etc.
Yeah. No, that's a very interesting ask. Again, please go add that to the list. We don't have it immediately on our roadmap. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to have that.
So, and I guess really they're talking about a rich text. I don't even know you need an HTML editor. We're talking about like a rich text editing, like when we're in Teams and you can select that. Yeah, interesting. Then we have here another one was a kind of a comment, and Dave on the back end jumped in. Thank you, Dave. And it was around, for hospitals networks tied to educational institutions, we're seeing a lot of application of these tools for training and classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they were asking about that. The other one that I saw that he also answered, but love to get your take on it, says in IT, we operate on certifications. As MS continues to develop its video strategy, will there be a certification on these products? So in other words, like we do the MS, 300, 301 certification tests.
Yeah. So yeah, we're continuously making sure we're up to date on most of the certifications that are required. I don't know off the top of my head the list of certifications we have, but obviously we have the ISO and SOC certifications. I'm happy to follow up.
No, this was around you getting, like, as an IT professional, for example, at Microsoft, I have to take the certification tests.
Okay.
For different things.
Certification on Stream as a product. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but sorry, so I don't understand. So is the question that
they want to know if there's going to be certification on our streaming solutions, so a person can take a certification test.
Interesting. So I guess the official certification, I'm assuming, will be offered by those certification bodies, right, that are providing those certifications. So is the question here if Stream will be hosting that content and kind of helping provide that certification?
No, I think it's, so if you think about, I'm blanking on maybe Dave on the back. Dave, give me a name of a test besides MS300.
Yeah, just even looking at 301, you're getting certified on SharePoint deployment. So is there a certified test to get certified on Stream deployment?
Oh, got it. Interesting.
Thank you.
I am not aware of it, but I am happy to follow up on that.
Yeah, and like I replied, I mean, really Stream is one of the workloads, and I commented in the MS300. It's really related to the deploying the Microsoft 365 Teamwork certification. If you take 300, 301, and then 100 and 101, you really kind of become the expert across the entire stack for collaboration. So something to consider.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I see, unless you see any others, Dave. I think that was it for questions. There was one other I recall I'm kind of looking back where they were asking about using Active Directory.
Yeah, when will the basically be built and integrate with? And I believe it said on-premise Active Directory.
Yeah.
So if you were to add someone to an on-premise Active Directory group and then have that group tied to a stream channel, what is that in the works?
Not at this point. Not at this point. But again, go ahead and add it to our stream ideas, and we will definitely put it on our backlog.
And one other I remember, I think Dave and I think both myself kind of chimed in text on it, but it was around workflow. So we see this in a lot of organizations where they want to set up a workflow. And I know there's things we can do outside the process, but if there's looking at any native handling of that within Stream.
Yeah, so I did add that as available later, workflow integration here on our roadmap. So we do have plans for that. One of the options also we're considering is using Microsoft Flow to help with workflow scenarios. Microsoft Flow already has an integration with over, I don't even know, like 250 different connectors. So.
Yep.
So it should be a great tool for us to have integration with, so that you have the flexibility to set up any kind of workflow you want through that.
Awesome. And I think that's it for questions. We're starting to get the thank yous, and thank you. This was great.
All right.
So I'm going to switch over real quickly and share on mine because I have a couple of last things. Something is being shared. Are you sure you want to share it? Yes. So I'm going to replace that. And here we go. So a couple of things. First of all, for everybody, we want to thank you, Archana, for being gracious enough to join us today.
Yeah,
and I want to thank everybody that attended. Next steps and some calls to action. So first of all, some people were asking repeatedly, hey, if we, want to see this on demand afterwards, where can we do it? So again, if you follow our blog at aka.ms/HLS blog, we will have the recording from today. We'll also get the slides from today. I've got some links already pre-staged up there, and there'll be a brief survey that you can take. And so, certainly make sure to follow us there, and follow us because we have new events every month, right, that are coming up. If you want to know more about, and I forgot to change that, stream in your organization, go ahead and contact, your Microsoft team. Not only myself and Dave, but many others throughout the U.S. We're ready, willing, and able to come in and talk to you, to show you, and to assist you in rolling out Stream in your organization. Finally, tomorrow, we do have a session, same time at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, reaching large audiences with immersive video and interactive discussions using Microsoft 365 live events, which coincidentally we're using today. So we're going to be talking about that, but you're going to get a much broader look at not just team live events, but then the overall piece. And we'll have Christina Torok will be our presenter for that and be taking questions. So we encourage you to join us, pass along to your colleagues, have them join as well, and learn how you can be leveraging live events. And I think that's it. So for everybody here, this is Mike Giannotti. I don't know if the rest of you want to say any last comments or thank yous.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me here. This was fun.
No, thank you. And Dave?
Yep, thank you everyone, and please reach out, follow up with any questions you have afterwards.
Yeah, post them up to our site, and again, we would love to hear from you. We're always loving to hear from folks. Again, we've got Pierre said thank you, great live show, so thank you. And we had one last question I'll try to answer real quick. When we post a team link to Teams, that's a whole separate discussion, Isam. So post that actually on the blog, and I'll be happy to go ahead and answer that. So I'll publish that there. But with that, this is Mike. Archana, and Dave, and we just want to thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a great day. Take care, and as always, ciao.